De oorlog in Gaza duurt inmiddels al bijna 3 maanden. Er is geen enkel uitzicht op een oplossing. Het ultraconservatieve geluid van de kolonisten is ook in Jeruzalem steeds bepalender geworden. Ik heb afgesproken met Benzi Sanders. Hij groeide op in een Joods-orthodoxe familie in New York, verhuisde naar Israël.
Hi Benzi.
En zat van 2012 tot 2015 in het Israëlische leger.
I was very moved by being here as a Jewish person whose ancestors were persecuted and murdered in Europe. That there was a Jewish state and a safe place for Jews to live, and so I wanted to be part of it. And I knew that Israel defended itself against all these enemy countries around it that threatened to invade it or threatened to carry out these terrorist attacks. And that's what I was thinking when I joined the IDF. But then when I was stationed in a settlement in the West Bank, I started understanding that what the IDF is doing there and what the settlement project is doing there, it's not just about defending Israel's existence. It's actually kind of an offensive takeover over territory without taking into account the people living on it, who aren't Israeli citizens and were under military control. And I was controlling where they walked. I was helping settlers take over land in their villages, around their villages. I began to question, how do we get to this situation? What is the future for these people? They don't have the same rights as the Israeli settlers living next to me. What's the future for them?
Shukran. So Benzi, when you were in the West Bank, when you were stationed in the West Bank, what did you see that, made you think of what is happening there?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. I was there for 8 months. But when we were assigned to go to the West Bank, they told us, this is not, like almost none of your skills that you learned is going to be relevant for this, because this is what's called routine security. And they basically explained that there's this road that's closed to Palestinians. Every Friday, they would protest that they closed their main road to the city. They would march down the road, and we would have to fire tear gas at them. And they would throw rocks at us, and then we would fire rubber-coated bullets, and it would hit the knees of the protesters. Every Friday, this was doing it. At some point, I'm asking, why can't they use the road? Why don't they have the same rights as the Israelis living here? And at some point, I found myself 2 o'clock in the morning inside a house. In one of the houses we went into, a younger brother woke up. We're going to go into the house. There's bunk beds in the bedroom. We wake up the kids, and one of the younger brothers, we wake up, again, armed soldiers in the middle of the night with masks on, go into their room. He jumps out of bed and starts fighting against us. He punches one of the soldiers. Quickly, they get him to the side. We arrest his brother. We take him out of the house. We start walking back to the base. As we're walking back to the base, the soldier, our officer says, I heard about what happened. Go back and arrest the younger brother now. So we go back and we arrest the younger brother. So we're just walking for a long time with this kid. He's blindfolded. His hands are tied behind his back. He's in his pajamas outside of his village in the middle of the night. And I think that was one moment that really stuck with me, made me think, what were the circumstances leading to all of this? Is this really, am I really defending the existence of Israel?
What was the crime of these youngsters that you had to pick up in the night? What did the guy do?
They were protesters. They probably threw rocks at the protests, at the soldiers.
Yeah. I just came back from Hebron, where similar circumstances were taking place. Palestinians are not allowed to go out of the houses. What's the reason for that, you think?
Yeah, I mean, Hebron is a very holy city in Jewish tradition. Very, very fanatic settlers have gone to live there. They're very, very violent. A lot of them are supporters of Itamar Ben-Gvir, who also lives there, who's the most extremist, violent. He's convicted of supporting terrorism. He's in charge of the police now in Israel, the Minister of National Security. But they want to take over. They want to take over the city, and so they usually use all sorts of escalations as excuses to kind of make it impossible for Palestinians to live, to slowly turn the city center into a ghost town. It serves their interest to make the city center unlivable. They just say, you can walk here, you can drive here, you can't drive here, you can't walk here. And when there's security tension, they just expand those restrictions. They want to turn Hebron into a Jewish city. They're very open about it.